going to show you how to create a Google form for branching. It's really important when you do this process to make sure that you kind of have your branches planned out. And once you do, then you put the questions into your Google form. So you're going to start by hitting New, Google Forms, and title your form. I'll just do test branching. And we're going to start with our settings for this, and then we'll go to our questions. I'm going to hit that over there. So I'm going to go to my settings, and some things that are really important that I believe for this type of quiz is you want to collect email addresses so you know who's taking it. Response receipts are completely up to you. You can decide if the students want to take the quiz more than once. I would not have them edit after submit. And seeing summary charts and text responses is fine if you want. Presentation-wise, for this, since you're going to be using sections within forms, I think showing a progress bar is good to let students know how far they are in the quiz. If you want to tamp down on cheating, you can shuffle your question order. And I would uncheck show link to submit another response. And if you want a confirmation message, you can type that in. And then lastly, over here for quizzes, this is really important because this is how we're going to be able to put in correct answers and give them better feedback. So we will make this a quiz. And just because it's a quiz doesn't mean you have to assign points for it, but that allows us, again, to give them feedback. So unfortunately, we don't have Chromebooks, so we can't lock them in, but you can release the grade. And this is great for them to get that immediate feedback. Also, if you want them to submit this to Canvas, they could take a screenshot of that and submit that screenshot to Canvas so you can see how they did. But I'm also going to show you where they're going to get their response spreadsheet, where you will get the response spreadsheet to get information as well. If you want them to see their missed questions, you can, correct answers, point values, etc. So I'm going to right now leave all of that and press save, and then come over and start my questions. So you definitely want to describe the form, description, and when you come down to questions, whether your question is required or not, I think depends on how your branching is set up. So you are going to use sections for this, and this is your section mode here. So my first section, I'm actually going to move this. Sorry about that. Move section, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to hit cancel. This question I'm going to move under this section. So perhaps this is question 1. If you need to put a description, you can put a description in there. Title your questions, very important. Question 1 text, and whether you do short answer, multiple choice, I'm going to do multiple choice here, and I'll put correct, incorrect, and I'll do maybe. Again, these are probably going to be real. Then I'm going to select answer key, and I'll just choose that. If I want to make points, this is where I'm going to do points. Done. Now, this would be required question because I want to see if they get this correct. But this is also when I hit these 3 dots, I can go to section based on answer. Before I go to sections, I'm going to create my next section for question 1 remediation. Okay? So when I come back up here and I go to section based on answer, then they can continue to next section, or they can go to question 1 remediation if they get it incorrect. And that's how you basically set this up. You would continue to add questions and sections. So maybe I'm going to come here and add another section. I would put a question under this section too. So maybe this is question, if I spell correctly, 2. Okay. And then when I come up here, back up to question 1, instead of continuing to the next section, I'm going to, if they get it correct, they get to go to question 2. Okay, so that's how you would set that up in order for students to kind of branch out depending on the answers. And you can go as deep as you want with this. I think it's good for formative assessments, maybe 3 to 5 questions to really kind of feel out where students are. If you go back to the Genially, you can see an example quiz about the Pythagorean theorem to look at this. Last thing I want to show you is the responses over here. When you hit responses, then you're going to create a response spreadsheet, and it would be a new spreadsheet. And that automatically opens that up for you and calls it the same as your quiz in responses. You get a timestamp, you get an email address. Again, you don't want to create this response spreadsheet unless you are done completing your quiz. And then you will see all of the questions populate here. Okay, so you'll see the students' final scores, you'll see their responses to each of the questions as they go along. I hope that this is helpful. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.